looks like the old entrance to the Mayan ruins at Tulam.
I'm not telling you what is, it's a theory, but I think it makes sense because they keep telling us first that Americans in this country that we were discovered. When we know now that there's so much evidence that it's not, the Europeans discovered America one day, yeah, but they didn't discover people, they were already here. So who came here first? The Mayan came from Mongolia, we were talking about. The Asian features on the American natives, it is not a coincidence, we know they came in two theories. One, the Bering Strait, which makes sense when you see the Inuit of Alaska, the Yukon of Canada, the Seminole, Apache, Ojibwa, Assassin, Chaco, Cherokee, Navajo. The features, say hi, chief, one slant to die, blacks right here. Mexico are 56 ethnic groups. For example, you look at a Apache, and then you see an Aztec, they're almost the same. Then you see a Maya, you see an Inca in Peru, or the Mapuches in Argentina and Chile. But the only one that let's come and say, break the chain, the link, is the Maya. Remember what I said about the birthmark? Have you ever seen it? A birthmark is like the birthmark is called Mongolian spot. Imagine a CD or a tortilla, big, red, round, purple, like a bruise, right here. My daughter is 3. I counted, I think it was normally a baby, I counted 10 to 14 months when her soft spot closes. That's exactly the same time that the birthmark or purity mark on the Mayans shrinks, never vanishes, just shrinks. Stays there for the rest of the life. You guys have it? Yep. Your origin is Asia. Yes, of course, that's what I'm telling you. But now the question is this Asia the other side of the world? How that pure bloodline came here, and until today, I'm telling you right now that after 2,000 years of being in America, they do have pure blood. Wait, so if you ask them, are you Mexican? They say, no, I am Maya. Not because they don't want to be Mexicans, of course they got the same rights and all that, but it's the purity. Even the bloodline, the language that you heard sounds totally Asian. So then the question is this, could be there an alternative route to arrive to America besides the Bering Strait? And yes, two people prove that. Xiang Li from Taiwan and Thor Heyerdahl from Norway. Remember the Kon-Tiki experience, the Grass Bay raft? Malaysia, Polynesian Islands, and Peru. So if they came through the Caribbean, some of the people make it here. Remember Lafitte, Edward Teach, Morgan, what am I talking about?
Pirates.
Blackbeard came here. So the Pirates of the Caribbean, but the movie, the real one, they all shipwrecked here. The Vikings make it to the north, to Canada, so why not? Why not the Asians? If the Africans came here also, well, let me show you. These are the Olmecs. So the portraits of the kings of Africa in America, the place Tabasco in Mexico. So, evidence found here, according to the Mayan experience, Queen and King mask, burial mask, the guy to see to the other side on a transition. Black obsidian, now we all understand the study obsidian. What is this blue beautiful stone? Turquoise. And this is red coral. The red coral right in front of our eyes in the coral reef. But this is from New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, or Colorado. It's gotta be in America. And this is almost impossible to explain. But this is how far is this contact. This is crystal jade. This is not jadeita. The jadeita or American is called imperial jade. Is this a dark green jade? Anyone here knows where the purest jade of all come from? One place, yes, China. Yeah, what was he doing here in 638 AD when they appeared? This is the face, or the mask of the greatest Mayan king of all time, Pakal, the great of Palenque. He's like the Tutankhamun of the Maya. So I can say all day long, showing you evidence, right? But the idea is that this missing link is still making a theory, and a theory is a speculation. So the answer is we don't know. That's why a lot of mysteries. For example, in Teotihuacan in Mexico, the distance between the pyramid of the sun and the pyramid of the moon, in the walkway of the dead, the distance in a scale is exactly the same distance from the sun and the moon. Exactly what is the first ring of the Stonehenge and the second. And this is the other side of the world, in Giza. So there's some things that we cannot explain. This might explain a little bit the arrival of the first group of Africa. Okay? Now we're going to move to the central area. I'm going to show you the most important temples, and I promise I'll give you some other unexplainable places like Stonehenge, right? The Druids, when they built it, there was no machinery to put it, this thousands of tons of weight in the position they are right now. Machu Picchu in Peru, 3,500 meters in the mountains of Peru. The great Incaica group build a ceremonial center by cutting the stones and placing it like a perfect fit, you know, like a puzzle without mortar. You cannot even pass a piece of paper in between. It's amazing. In the case of the Mayans, as we know, we have a mortar. The mortar is obtained by mixing calcinate lime or burned stone with limestone. It's called estuco or stucco. So the way they cut the stones, if you guys can take a look behind you, there's the wall, there's Tulum. Notice that we're standing in an uneven place because it's a decline, and then from the center path, an incline to the top of the cliff top. This is giving us like a, salud, bless you, a funnel-shaped city. Why do you think that or why do we use a funnel for? Why do you think they wanted a funnel for shaped city?
Water?
Yes, for water, for collection of rain. The thing is that if we dig a hole here, we find water. This is all limestone, it's porous. It's connected, let's say this is a cave system, okay? There's more than 85 kilometers around connected of subaquatic hydraulic systems. So, there's water, but it's connected to the ocean, so there's salt water. If we don't collect, maybe for plants, but not for us, so that we need to collect the water in a different way. How did the Mayans did it? Cisterns. So the city has one cistern, well, it's only one visible. There were so many. It's called chultun, that means hole. Listen, behind these palms, there's another cactus area. Can you see some stones protruding? Those, it looks like a barbecue pit right now, but it was 45 meters down deep and hollow. They were covered, obviously, by the archaeologists to avoid, you know, somebody falling in there. But it's still filtering the water. It's impressive. So it indicates that the city was totally paved with a stucco, not landscape, that had canales or channels that collected even the last raindrop in the central cistern. So imagine the manpower, the amount of wood they need to, you know, to burn to get, you know, a wall like that, at least 350 banyan trees like that. So when we talk about the counterpart, there's a big price to pay. You know, Mother Earth cannot regenerate as fast as we can destroy it. Plus the way they build the cities. You know, one is the mortar, another is agriculture. But would you like to see a remaking, a rendition of a friend of mine, an artist? I took this picture in 2002, and the one in the top is a rendition according to pigment and still evidence around. In a minute, when I let you go, once I let you go, you will see the temples closer. Notice always, as I show you the pigment at the entrance, there is everywhere. Maybe from our angle, you cannot see it, but if you get close, you'll still see some indigo. You know, indigo is the blue color, and the you know, paprika, the ¿cómo se dice? Achiote, creo es en español.
Spice.
Spice crushed with cinnabar gets the red, brown, reddish color. So it was beautiful. It was an amazing, you know, art piece. This is still considered art. And something interesting to talk about artists. What is what an artist do today when they finish a job? They sign it, right? It's a unique piece. Well, the Mayans signed their temples, but in a different way. We use some kind of a, I don't know, drawing. You can see maybe from this angle. In the superimposed temple, known as the Temple of the Frescoes, by the way, what all that people is looking at are frescoes. It's in some angles, some areas, looks like if they make it yesterday. They use the same technique of Michelangelo in the Sixtine Chapel, dry and fresh fresco. Some evidence is still outside. In the temple on top, from the entrance, on the left side on the dintel, there's two red handprints, small hands. That's the signature. The Maya is the first civilization in our history that realized that fingerprints in humans are different. So they signed with oil, and that's a unique characteristic. It's still there. It's amazing. There's more because there were 5 feet the tallest men, 4 the tallest women. Notice the entrance of the temples. Hey, they have to bend. So now, what is the meaning of all this? The main temple, protected by another Tulum or another wall, has 27 steps. This is Astronomy, okay? Every angle tilt or every step means something besides the deities outside. So 27 steps from the bottom to the top, plus the temple is giving us 28. This is a calendar. What kind of planet they were studying with this? If it changes its cycle every 28 days. Yes, the moon. It's a lunar calendar. Now, when we think about a lunar calendar, in the Maya, it's 13 months of 20 days, or 13 moons of 20 days, especially if we focus on women, equal to 260. In Gregorian, when we translate 260 days to months, what is the result? 9. what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Fertility.
Children, that's it. There's no magic. It's gestation. So then, the difference between the Maya and Gregorian, you guys know the answer. What is what we have to do to our calendar to balance it every 4 years? I think this is one of them, right? Leap year on a day or 24 hours in 4 years. It's very irregular. But if we count like the Mayans in unities, like abacus, one by one, then we'll get to this perfection. Solar calendar. March 21st, the position of the sun, which is the equinox, 91 days, which is for us 3 months. Then we go back to the same explanation. 3 months. In 4 seasons, 3 by 4, 12. Then we call it a year. But now we got the margin of error. Without it, we got to do it by unities or days. Sunrise to sunset, March, June, September, December, equinox to solstice. I'm referring again to the seasons represented in a solar calendar, which is not here. It's Chichen Itza. Same masterpiece, same dynasty, but another place. It's about 120 miles inland, because the one that we have here, the solar calendar here, is nothing but this observation. We're on perfect east, okay? So if you ask me what time is it, I look to my watch and I answer the question. But if it's sunny, you ask a Maya, he looks to the shade or angle and answers perfectly the question, because they are astronomers. So now, this is the Maya calendar related to the solar year. March, June, September, and December. Now we see the pattern of the square foundation. The number of steps represent the number of days elapsed from the sun, from March to June, September, December, from the angle we see it. So 3 by 4, 12, but now we go by days. 91 by 4, 364, plus the temple on top, 365. This is the most accurate solar calendar in the world. Together, the Pyramid of Chichen Itza and this one, this is now the 2012 explanation. The answer is this, it's a formula. 9 months, let's do it in the Gregorian, and 12 months, if you do the math, it takes 52 years to mesh, okay? Then we have already, imagine it like a clockwork. 9 months, 12 months, spinning. One goes faster than the other, so it takes 52 years to mesh. We call it a Mayan century, even if it's only 52 years. So the third year, we put it in there, so we got 9, 12, and 52. Together, 5,200 years. Then we put this in the fourth one, okay? Now we got 4 years. This changed every 5,200 years. Together, every 26,000 years. So we call eras of the sun. The Aztecs believed that 4 already consumed, 4 suns already gone, became stars, and the last one is here for another 26,000 years. So this is considered the birth date of the sun, something that the Mayas knew that happened before, and we're still here. Because the cycle of 2012 is when the end of the biggest gear or biggest cycle ends, but another one begins. So we have passed already the 5,200 years, and we're still here. So for sure, it's not the end of the world. It's the end of a cycle and the beginning of another one. So we call it an awakening to a new era. I think it's important to spread the word, to go back to live in harmony with nature. I think that's the reason why we're here. To live on this planet, we don't have to go to another planet, otherwise we won't be any, ¿cómo se decía? Terrestres? Okay, now we know why 2012, now we know why the calendar archaeoastronomical. But what happened in the rest of the temples? When an astronomer was born, mother placed, oh by the way, one is 9 months, gestation, and another is agriculture. But here is something interesting. By the way, you see some chairs and some people in there, they're archaeologists restoring. So now, this is something interesting, guys. Another theory that maybe is interesting for you. When a baby is born, astronomers, we're talking about the elite, mother placed the baby's skull between 2 dorsal planks. Check it out. It's a real picture. One in the front, another in the back. With a twine rope, they started adding pressure little by little in order to avoid the brain's damage. Only the skull was deformed in order to obtain a sunken forehead. This is how a sunken forehead looks like. Imagine a person with this characteristic walking among the temples. Well, the reason is because, yes, they were different, physically different, but they, performed this. Obviously, there were some infants that couldn't resist such a pressure and subsequently died. When the Spaniards came here, as I said, Hernán Cortés did a violent conquest. Here, they wanted to convert, and they had a very good reason. If this is just one example, imagine other things that maybe we're not, don't know that much, like incest, for example, which it happened, or the distortion. Obviously, they saw it wasn't their idea of astronomers. They were priests, so they saw mother killing a baby. You got it? Instead of, now the theory, which is going again to something that we don't know, is that, Carnegie Mellon, is it in Pittsburgh? It's a university or an institute. They sent to the National Institute of Anthropology, to the Mexican museums, a theory about this. I'm not a neurologist, but I'm going to repeat this. And it makes more sense, in my opinion, that the aliens came, did it all, and then they disappeared. Look, they're trying to explain that the Mayans found a way to stimulate the pineal, hypophysis, and pituitary gland in the human brain, which is the one that controls our perception, time, focus. Maybe that's an answer. How do they figure out the movement of the earth, the sun, rotation, translation, magnetism, frequency? For example, the temple in front has a steep angle. Can you see how steep is it?
Yes.
It's 23.5. Where have you heard that before? 23.5 degrees is the axis of the earth. Is the way we move, as a planet. How do they knew this? I have no idea, but listen. The balance of this is when the sun aligns perfectly with the earth and projects a ray of light as a manifestation of a deity, brings light reflected into the niche where the deity is protruding, which is upside down, it's a baby upside down, and immediately starts raining. There's no margin of error, so how can that happen? We're not making rain. There was a sacrifice, of course, before to make the people outside believe, because they were blind by faith, that they were actually making rain. So it's all about 4 seasons, okay, to survive with food. It's all about life. And the most important and beautiful moment of life is birth, the most beautiful. And the traditional way to do it, which is related to fertility or rain, is squatting. Head goes first and the umbilical cord links up with mom. Later on, when you go back to the bus, you will pass by the trolley area, and there's a blue pole where you see 4 men wrapping a rope around their hips and then climb the pole. 4 of them, they're gonna let go on their backs, unwrapping the rope, hanging from the rope from the bellies for 13 revolutions. Remember the 13 branches of the tree of life until they get to the ground? 13 by 4 is 52. Again, we go back to the same cycle of life of the Mayan. Bringing again ritual or a ceremony that corresponds to the most beautiful moment of life, birth. So, in this temple, what you see is something amazing. The niche has a figure protruding from the facade. It's made of a stucco and it's upside down. Notice, looks like bull horns. It's a baby upside down. So related to fertility, only that day, the sun appears behind the temple, pass a ray of light through the hole, illuminate the deity, which is what's obviously obsidian mirrors to make the effect an optical illusion, and it starts raining. So they, maybe one day before, one night, sacrifice a person and make them that believe that their spirit already sent the message to Chumchak, the Lord of Rain, and it started coming. Even today, if you guys come one day at June 21st, then here's thousands of Mayans are here praying. They're feeling, the vibe is amazing, and it starts raining. So there's no question, there was no doubt of their power. Imagine, I'm gonna stop a hurricane, but I ordered all of you to plant the seeds and then harvest, and everybody was harvesting and graining all the food, and then very next morning, in September 21st, boom, the hurricane hit. So everybody was grateful because of their knowledge, because they were actually making things happen. But now we know that it's just a perfect calendar, and the secret lies in one word: literacy. A literate person back in those days was considered that has superhuman powers, because the books that the Spaniards burned were the manuscript codices that said when things are going to happen. So that's actually going back to the beginning of history and then continuing to the new world. Okay? Well, my friends, this is where I finish. I can say more, but I think my time has come. So I'm going to show you one more thing. I got to show you the access to the beach. Now that you are here, the day is getting better. So behind this temple, walk straight and then turn left. You will get to that path. That path will take you to the staircase, and the staircase will take you to the cliff top. It's an amazing, breathtaking view. I don't want to spoil the surprise. You're already here. So do it at the exit on the south ring. So I'll see you then, 3:40 in the bus, okay? Gracias. I also study archaeoastronomy, which is the use of mathematical, let's say musical patterns, tones, rhythms, and frequencies to measure, like miles per hour, how much time it takes for a planet to appear, for example, Venus, with this irregularity, again, in the same position. So it could be a planet, could be a constellation, could be whatever they studied, there was a value to each one of them. And they developed a count system, which is a bamboo stick. It's a musical instrument known as tulku. And with 2 sticks, like drumsticks, they hit it according to the BPM. So that's the first value of time. So we have how many heartbeats it takes to the sun from up here to the east and then the southwest to set. So that's a value, and that's how they figure out the distance. But it's all about music. So when I say, hola, la playa allá a la izquierda, arriba de la loma, por aquella escalera.
That's really
Ciao. So it takes, ¿cómo dijo? Yes, imagine like Mayans decipher that the stars or somebody there or someone out there dictated them. I mean, if the movement of the planets and stars dictated them exactly the blueprints of all this. This didn't came from the imagination of artists. This is a reflection of certain planets.
I believe it is. It's too perfect. It's too, just like,
Yes.
it's just too perfect.
The alignments are impressive. I think it's just a matter of time till the truth comes out.
Yeah.
And time is what they knew so well. So this year is important, but I think it's important. Should be more important for us. For the credit of destroying and the world. I think it's more energetic and more being sensitive about this. To feel. Because somehow we're losing our passion. Somehow it's so material and money and TV, and our decisions are made by our eyes and instead of balance our senses. So I think something good is coming. I hope so.
I hope so too.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. And
thank Jackie.
Jackie.
Thank
My
you
pleasure
so
meeting you guys.
much,
Thank
Manuel.
you. Gracias. Thank you. All right. Enjoy.
We can't go 340. Okay. All right. All right. This you said was the cistern, right?
You want me to take a video of you doing different things?
No, I just want you to take EMF readings. These can't. If they touch each other, they interfere with each other. We can't go past the lines yet. We need to make our way to the top of the big temple. And see, we can get right up to it without touching it.
Yeah, I can get up to maybe 5 is the most I hit.
You're getting a 5? Are you on Tesla? Yeah, Tesla. You're getting a 5 over here? Show me.
I got a 5.
Whoa. Put it down lower, maybe. If you get it near anything like your watch, if I'm up there, or me.
See, I just had a 4.
You just had a 4?
See the 3.
Yeah. It'll be constant, but I wonder what this was. This looks almost like onions, don't they? Like onions don't come. Ah, that's the system. Ooh, I'm getting higher radiation. I got a 0.11. What did you get over here?
An 8.
An 8? You gotta tell me these things.
5.
It should be constant though.
9. I think they're walking by very quickly.
You want to head up to the big temple? I want to make sure we get to it, and it's going to take a little while.
Es una buena pregunta. Miren, para hacer
See, he thinks there's something musical. I've heard that also. The musical theory goes back to vibration. He's a wealth of knowledge. This is the Pyramid of the Moon here at Tulum. Tulum means the wall.